So Aston Villa are set to receive £100 million bid for Jack Grealish from Manchester City. Please, no, I do not want this to happen. City, stop ruining football because you're ruining it for everybody. Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. And did you know that Mario Balotelli only ever Premier League assist that has been registered was in that infamous 3-2 win when he was at Manchester City against QPR, which went on to win them the league. Yes, the Aguero moments, one of the best moments that you can ever see of all time. That was his only ever assist. So if you are only ever going to get one, make sure it's one worthwhile, and that is one worthwhile indeed. But anyway, smash a like on this video only if you enjoy, and let's get into today's Redmond Roundup. So Liverpool are in talks with John McGinn, but Aston Villa want a fee of £45 to £50 million. Now, when you talk about this transfer, there is a lot of pros that come along with it. You know, John McGinn, he is someone that I think has been on Klopp's radar for a while now. More importantly, I think he would fit Klopp's system. He is a more attacking player, doesn't necessarily have the defensive attributes, but can still contribute to the other end of the pitch. Also, you've got to take into consideration the fact he's got, you know, a relationship with the likes of Andrew Robertson. So when it comes to settling into the club, it wouldn't take too long. And, of course, he's not very injury prone. He played 50 games for Aston Villa last season. Other than that, this transfer makes absolutely no sense. As a matter of fact, I think I've got more of a chance of getting a reply from Maya Jama on Instagram than actually seeing FSG entertain the thought of going in for a 26-year-old, 27-year-old in November in John McGinn for £45 to £50 million. Now, let me tell you what I think about it. I rate John McGinn, and I actually think he's a very solid player. And I actually also have some belief that Jurgen Klopp may have been interested in this player before. But you've always got to look at value for money, and value for money doesn't scream out to me there. And furthermore, I actually believe that Aston Villa are more doing this just because the Jack Grealish news that's been coming out, he's most likely going to leave this summer. If Jack Grealish leaves, then Aston Villa aren't really in a position where they need to sell another star, and John McGinn is one of their stars. Hence why what I think they're doing, the tactics that they're using, is they're trying to price Liverpool out of this deal. They know FSG aren't really big spenders, and therefore they're going 45 to 50 million, because if we do receive that, then boss, but if not, then we just get to keep one of our main players. I'd probably say I give this one like a 3 out of 10 on possibility. Again, it's not really one that I see happening anytime soon, especially for that price tag. So Ben White is closing in on his £50 million transfer move to Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano confirms that in the next few days, this transfer deal could be very well done. Ben White is a solid ball-playing centre-back that has good defensive attributes and for sure has the ability and potential to become a very solid centre-back. He's only 23 years of age. Also a rather versatile player. He's played in the midfield before for Brighton, and this season he's moved more into a back three at times with Webster and Dunk. And let me just put it in this perspective. 50 million for Ben White. How much better is Ben White than Rob Holding? And it's a serious question because ball-playing wise, they're probably both just as good, if not too much difference between each other when it comes from playing out from the back. And furthermore, defensive attributes. I think Rob Holding's got better stats in both of them areas, defensive and going forward. I'm not trying to say Rob Holding's better than Ben White, at least not night and day. But regardless who is better, it isn't very clear. It's not like one centre-back is way better than the other. And would you rate Rob Holding as a £50 million centre-back? If Arsenal was going to sell Rob Holding tomorrow, do you think there's any possibility they're going to get 50 million for Rob Holding? And this is a centre-back that has been at that club from the age of, 20 years of age when he joined from Bolton. Furthermore, he's played quite a lot of games and he's at a bigger club than Brighton, which, I do this, but Arsenal are genuinely a much bigger club than Brighton Football Club. Yet Brighton are able to sell their player for 50 million. And Rob Holding is still in the Arsenal team, yet isn't anywhere near that price evaluation. Just make it make sense. But I think the main reason you're bringing Ben White in from an Arsenal point of view is simply to replace David Luiz with the age that he's now turned into and he's getting slower and stuff like that. But to replace Saliba, someone who went to back to the French league and absolutely smashed it, and yet you've got him at your disposal. You don't have to go out and spend 50 million, yet you're still opting to spend such a big fee on a player that is very risky to do so. I don't know, but I thought I was bad with FSG. Arsenal fans, I feel terribly sorry for you when it comes to this news. Now listen, although not the best centre-back option Arsenal could have went for, I do see this happening in the upcoming days, and I'm going to give the probability of this one an 8 out of 10. So according to Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United are interested in Rafael Varane, but there is no official bid just yet. Now Real Madrid would be looking for around 80 to 90 million euros for Rafael Varane. Of course, he's 28 years of age, and Florenzo Peachy Perez has been speaking out recently on Rafael Varane, basically saying that he's going to make his mind up on whether or not he wants to stay at Real Madrid when he returns from the Euros. But although I do believe Manchester United are interested in Rafael Varane, I just really don't see them going out and spending 85 million on Jadon Sancho, which I believe will happen, and furthermore spending 80 million to 90 million on Rafael Varane. I just don't see two big players being signed in one window, is what I'm trying to say, unless maybe if they sell a Paul Pogba, then possibly. But right now as it stands, if they don't sell any big players or get rid of any big assets, I really do not see these two deals going through. I am more leaning towards the Jadon Sancho deal happening than this one with Rafael Varane. When it comes to probability, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And again, I do think there's concrete interest there, but I can see Rafael Varane probably staying another season at Real Madrid. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. I absolutely believe this would be a great piece of business for Manchester United. Just don't see it happening in this window. Mohamed Salah and Ibrahima Konate won't be allowed to go to the Olympics, say Liverpool Football Club. So this is news that is breaking out with the upcoming Olympics this summer. Egypt are involved, France are involved, and Konate and Salah do have the chance to represent their nations on these tournaments, essentially. But Liverpool have withheld interest in letting these players go to these tournaments based on the fact that they've had a dog shit ton of injuries over the past season, and they want to actually start next season's campaign with a fully fit squad, as fully fit as you can get, because one thing that you don't want, especially off the back of the season that you've just had, is not having your best player or best attacking player in Mohamed Salah. You don't know the position of the other three centre-backs who've been out injured long term, and you don't want to lose and miss out on your new sign, and you want to try and give him minutes as soon as possible instead of him coming back later on in the season because he's been playing at the Olympics. Now, it turns out that Salah isn't really the most happy about this. He's not a happy bunny, people, and the reason being, you've got to understand this from two perspectives. Salah wants to go and play for Egypt. Liverpool don't want to let him go. From both perspectives, let's be open-minded before we say who's right and who's wrong, because Mohamed Salah, he's 29 years of age. This is a major tournament for his country. Let's be real. If Egypt were even able to get to like the quarterfinals of the Olympics or like the semi-finals, I don't know how the structure works, but however far they go, it's a big achievement for Mo Salah to be a part of that. Egypt are going to want Mo Salah to be available for them games, and furthermore, I think winning the Olympics would be the biggest achievement of Mo Salah's career. I think winning anything with his national team will be the biggest accomplishment of his career. So I just think of it as he's 29 years of age, even though he could probably play for Egypt till he's about 40. The point that I'm trying to make is he really wants to make an impact now, and that's one thing that you can see. He's a winner. But like I said though, you've got to understand it from the club's point of view. You are the club's biggest star. And if we miss you for that first game or two, we've saw how close the league can be before. Let's say we draw that first game because of lack of goals or whatnot. You've got to look back at that as a very significant moment. And with the overlap, you know, going into the pre-season, going into the new season, Salah will miss them games, and you're going to need them for them games. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What should Salah do in this situation? So Iker Casillas, Kelleher signs a 5-year deal with Liverpool, and Harry Wilson as a £15 million set price, with Benfica interested in the winger. This is according to James Pearce, of course, and he's been coming out talking about all the rumours. Now, Kelleher, first of all, is set to be the number 2 choice instead of Adrian, or should I say ahead of Adrian. And furthermore, Harry Wilson is likely to be leaving Liverpool this summer. I'd say the probability of this is maybe a 8 out of 10 on him actually leaving the club. To where is yet to be determined. Benfica are interested. As a matter of fact, I think as we speak, Benfica are preparing a bid for Harry Wilson. Furthermore, you've got West Brom interested. Furthermore, you've got Brentford interested. There's a few teams that are sniffing around Harry Wilson, and even though there will be a few Liverpool fans who do want to keep him, you know, we got in 33 championship games, 7 goals and 11 assists. He's definitely prolific. He can definitely add something to this team. He can create a moment of brilliance. But I think if you can get 15 million for Harry Wilson, absolutely do so, because all the transfers that we make this summer, we're going to need to get as much outs to be able to get as much ins. So that's just my thoughts on the situation. Rodrigo de Paul will join Atletico Madrid for 35 million euros. Now, this is one of the best performing midfielders over last season coming from Italy. Absolutely insane. You could probably call De Paul like the Argentinian Robbo, someone who's got a lot of energy, and even though he's more or labelled more as an attacker midfielder, he can most certainly put a defensive shift, and I think this is a big signing for Atletico Madrid for how much he's going to contribute to that team. He was massive for Udinese last season, and I actually feel Liverpool have missed out on this deal, especially when you look at the price tag of 35 million euros. Instead, we're being linked with 45 million pounds or 50 million pounds in John McGinn. And then lastly, former Dortmund manager Lucien Favre has turned down the opportunity to move to Crystal Palace as he isn't ready for top level management just yet, or should I say he isn't ready to return to top level management. Again, a manager who has managed multiple teams in Italy and Germany, but has turned down the opportunity to go to Crystal Palace. So sorry Palace fans, it looks like that you've got a little bit of that Spurs syndrome, just where you're absolutely managerless, because even Frank Lampard a few weeks ago has now dissed the idea of going to Crystal Palace. So it just doesn't look like these London clubs are going to be having any gaffers anytime soon, even though there's loads available. But guys, that will be the end of this video, and I hope you have enjoyed the new format of the Redmond Roundup. Of course, if you don't like it, I would appreciate you let me know. You know, if you don't like all the cuts and all the new editing that I've tried to implement into this, let me know, because I'm more than happy to go back to the old format, because it's less work. But if you do enjoy this one, where it's just quick, snappy, then boss, I'll keep on doing them. More importantly, if you do want longer content, live streams are now back on the channel. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, there will be new live streams. Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday will be new Redmond Roundup. So be sure to subscribe to keep an eye out for all them. And again, only if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash a like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace out.